Georgia, was interrupted by a strange sight. Smoke curling into the summer sky from the edge of a residential street. Fire crews arrived to find a car engulfed in flames, its metal frame twisting in the heat. There was no sign of the driver. Hours later, investigators widened their search beyond the burned vehicle. In a wooded area nearby, they made a discovery that shifted the case from a routine fire investigation to something far darker. The scene raised urgent questions. How did the car end up burning? Who was the victim? And why had the location been chosen? Detectives began piecing together the events leading up to the fire. Witness statements, surveillance footage, and phone records started pointing toward a tangled web of personal connections. It became clear that this was not an accident, and the blaze had been no random event. The investigation quickly crossed state lines, drawing in multiple agencies. As the pieces came together, the timeline revealed a chilling chain of actions that would ultimately lead to an arrest hundreds of miles away and expose the calculated steps behind a public tragedy. If you enjoy real crime stories that uncover the truth, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us share real cases, spread awareness, and give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Uncovered, where we examine the cases that shake communities and expose what happens behind closed doors. Real stories, real people, real impact. Subscribe now and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Beauty Katera Couch was a 22-year-old Instagram influencer residing in Austell, Georgia. She had amassed over 150,000 followers by showcasing roller skating dance routines, fashion, and lifestyle content. She also offered paid skating lessons, people.com, https://www.atlantanewsfirst.com. Beyond her online presence, she was enrolled in college and involved in the local community. Her family described her as friendly and well-liked, though little is publicly known about her familial relationships or background apart from their public comments. Fox 5 Atlanta, people.com. She maintained a romantic relationship with 21-year-old Eugene Louis Jacques, though details of their dynamic were not elaborated on in official reports. Authorities later confirmed his identity in relation to the case. Fox 5 Atlanta, The Independent. How well do we really know the people we see on our screens every day? Investigators confirmed she was missing by the morning after her vehicle was located on fire. Prior to that, there were no publicly reported unusual interactions or suspicious encounters noted. The last known confirmed activity was tied to her social media presence. Notably, her final Instagram post was uploaded just before her disappearance, a poolside photo without any overt indicators of distress. People.com. No confirmed evidence from phone record, messages, or social media has been publicly disclosed beyond that final post. Law enforcement did not report any threatening communications or anomalies in her digital footprint at the time. People.com, Dallas bin 1630/970 AM. Was there anything hidden in her final online post that hinted at what was coming? On August 23rd, 2023, at approximately 12:18 p.m., the Austell Fire Department was dispatched to extinguish a vehicle fire near the intersection of Jerkins Boulevard and Lander Street. Upon arrival, they encountered a car entirely engulfed in flames, designated as a brush fire due to the location at the edge of a wooded area. Fox 5 Atlanta. After containing the blaze, authorities identified the vehicle registration as belonging to Beauty Couch. By then, she had already been reported missing by her family, who had not seen her since Tuesday morning. Fox 5 Atlanta, people.com. The car was found in a ditch or wooded verge, not in a residential driveway, which raised questions about why it was placed in such a location. It was fully destroyed by fire. No details about personal belongings inside the vehicle had been reported, which suggests they were either destroyed or removed before the fire was set. https://www.atlantanewsfirst.com. Fox 5 Atlanta. The vehicle's accessibility to a public road may have been intentional, possibly to draw initial investigative attention, but its placement in a semi-secluded area complicated initial identification. After extinguishing the vehicle fire at approximately 12:18 p.m. on August 23rd, authorities broadened the search zone. Cobb County and Austell investigators systematically combed surrounding wooded areas. A combination of foot patrols and perimeter sweeps was carried out. Though public records do not confirm use of drones or K-9 units, standard investigative procedure in such scenarios suggests they may have been deployed to cover difficult terrain and dense woodline beyond immediate visual range. 12:18 p.m. Fire department alerts arrive. Fire extinguished, vehicle towed. Shortly after, police identify vehicle owner as a missing individual and initiate scene re-examination. Within the hour, investigators locate a body in the adjacent woods. The body was discovered in a woodline just yards from where the burned vehicle was situated. Fox 5 Atlanta, People.com. Its proximity to the charred car indicates the body had not been concealed far, suggesting either haste or intended visibility during the subsequent investigation. Public detail remains limited, but investigative notes and affidavits indicate multiple stab wounds to the upper torso, inflicted by a sharp force instrument, law and crime. No mention has been made of defensive wounds, suggesting incapacitation before the fatal attack. While specific forensic artifacts, e.g. DNA, fingerprints, weapon fragments, were not publicly itemized, officials secured the body for autopsy, likely collected trace evidence such as fibers or blood spatter patterns from both car and woods. Forensic teams would have photographed scene positions and documented pathways between vehicle and body for reconstruction. Was the fire meant to be a distraction from where the real crime took place? The autopsy revealed that the victim sustained multiple stab wounds concentrated in the upper torso, consistent when attacked by a sharp-edged weapon, law and crime. An estimated time of death is not publicly reported, though forensic timing will be aligned with a fire incident if the injuries preceded discovery. Given the vehicle fire occurred midday on August 23rd and the body was found soon after, it's reasonable the attack occurred within hours prior, though no specific window has been disclosed by authorities. Stab wounds to the chest/torso area were the primary cause of death. The lack of other noted injuries suggests a targeted, executed assault rather than prolonged struggle. No burns or smoke inhalation injuries were cited, implying the fire was post-mortem, law and crime. The official cause of death is homicide by stabbing, inflicted by a sharp force instrument. Toxicology results or other forensic findings, e.g., presence of substances or foul substances, have not been revealed in media outlets. No publicly available records reference toxicology outcomes or the presence of drugs, alcohol, or sedatives. Forensic reporting remains limited to stabbing wounds and body location. If substances were present, they have not been disclosed by Cobb County Police or court filings. Police immediately contacted Beauty Couch's family upon finding her vehicle registration. Interviews with her mother and close relatives established time frames for last sightings and confirmed the absence since the prior morning. Neighbors or friends were likely approached to verify her last known movements, but public reporting does not list specific witnesses. The immediate connection to the car, the missing individual, and body location prompted rapid identification of persons of interest. Investigators likely required alibis from acquaintances and associates, particularly from those nearest to Couch at the time of her disappearance. No details of witness alibis have been released. Investigators quickly turned attention toward Eugene Louis Jacques, described in official records as Couch's boyfriend. Their relationship timeline includes active presence in her life until the disappearance. The probable cause affidavit asserts that Louis Jacques used a sharp instrument to inflict the fatal wounds, law and crime. While the exact duration of their relationship remains undisclosed, reports state he was known to her and identified as a suspect within hours. Investigators required establishing when he was last with her, any changes in behavior and travel or communication logs. No records of past altercations or relevant domestic disputes have been publicly noted. The arrest affidavit and media coverage do not mention prior police calls or public disturbances involving the couple. How quickly can trust turn into danger when relationships sour? Once the victim's body and burned vehicle were processed as separate but connected crime scenes, investigators turned to available surveillance footage. Cameras from nearby homes, businesses, and traffic intersections in Austell provided a partial timeline of movements on the day of the incident. Footage placed a vehicle matching the suspect's car model near the location, where Beauty Couch's burning vehicle was later found. Other cameras captured the same vehicle, leaving the area shortly before the fire was reported. Investigators noted timestamps showing the suspect's car traveling on routes leading directly from Beauty's known location earlier that day to the eventual crime scenes. This visual trail linked the suspect geographically to both critical locations: the wooded area where her body was found and the site of the burning car. Detectives obtained court orders for mobile phone data belonging to Eugene Louis Jacques. Cell tower pings showed his device connecting to towers near Austell, at times consistent with the murder timeline. The records also indicated rapid movement away from the area immediately after the estimated time of death, suggesting an intentional departure from the crime scene. GPS metadata from applications on his phone showed coordinates overlapping with the wooded area where Beauty's body was found. This alignment between physical evidence and digital tracking strengthened the link between the suspect and the crime locations. In addition, analysis of his social media activity revealed an abrupt halt in public posting immediately after the incident. Direct message exchanges obtained via warrants showed conversations referencing travel plans and the need to leave Georgia quickly. Multiple witnesses reported seeing a man matching Eugene Louis Jacques' description in the area on the day of the killing. One neighbor recalled a vehicle idling for an extended period near the wooded location before the fire call was made. Another witness claimed to have seen the suspect at a gas station purchasing fuel shortly before the blaze. These accounts were compared against surveillance and digital timelines, with investigators noting strong consistency between the independent statements and technological evidence. Within days of identifying Eugene as the prime suspect, Georgia investigators confirmed he had left the state. The phone data showed his device traveling south before heading west toward Louisiana. Police traced his movements using automated license plate reader systems along interstate highways. Records showed his vehicle crossing into Louisiana within 48 hours of the killing. Once his location was narrowed to an address in Street Tammany Parish, Louisiana, Georgia authorities contacted the Street Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Marshal Service. Information including photographs, vehicle description, and probable cause affidavits were transmitted to Louisiana agencies. The coordination included establishing surveillance around the suspected hideout location. Law enforcement monitored comings and goings, confirming Eugene was present before moving in to make the arrest. Eugene Louis Jacques was taken into custody without incident on August 30th, 2023. The arrest occurred in the early evening at a private residence in St. Tammany Parish. Upon arrest, he was informed of charges filed in Georgia: murder, connected to the death of Beauty Couch; arson, linked to the burning vehicle found in Austell; aggravated assault, stemming from the nature of the killing. He was transported to a Louisiana detention facility, pending extradition to Georgia. What drives someone to flee hundreds of miles from the crime scene? Upon extradition to Georgia, Eugene appeared before a magistrate judge for his first hearing. The court denied bond based on the seriousness of the charges and the evidence of flight risk due to his interstate travel after the killing. The prosecution presented the case as involving deliberate planning and active attempts to conceal evidence. The defense requested more time to review the evidence, stating that their client intended to plead not guilty. As pre-trial motions progressed, the prosecution revealed a structured presentation of evidence. Forensic reports, DNA recovered from the victim, and her vehicle matched the suspect. Fire investigation findings concluded the blaze was intentionally set using accelerants. Surveillance footage, sequential clips placing Eugene's vehicle near both the wooded site and the burning car location. Digital tracking, GPS and cell tower records aligning with witness accounts. Witness testimonies, multiple corroborated sightings of the suspect's activities before and after the incident. This compilation of technological, forensic, and testimonial evidence was designed to establish a cohesive timeline of events. The trial opened with jury selection and procedural instructions. Early testimony came from first responders and crime scene investigators, who outlined the initial discovery of the fire, the body recovery, and the preservation of evidence. Mid-trial, the prosecution called digital forensics experts to explain the extraction and interpretation of GPS, social media, and phone records. Witnesses who saw Eugene in the vicinity were cross-examined by the defense, who questioned the reliability of their identifications. A notable development occurred when the defense filed a motion to suppress certain cell phone data, claiming improper warrant procedure. The judge denied the motion, ruling the warrants were lawfully obtained and executed. Throughout the proceedings, timelines created from combined evidence were displayed for the jury, showing synchronized movements of the suspect's vehicle, phone activity, and locations connected to crime. The trial was marked by the prosecution's reliance on interlocking evidence types rather than a single piece of proof, aiming to show an intentional, coordinated series of actions. A Cobb County grand jury formally indicted 21-year-old Eugene Toby Louis-Jacques on multiple charges, including murder, aggravated assault, arson, concealing the death of another, and tamper with evidence. Spotlight South Cobb News. Trial proceedings are not publicly documented to have concluded with verdict or plea deal as of now. No sources report either a conviction or plea agreement, suggesting the case remains unresolved in court. Since there is no record of sentencing, it appears the case is likely still pending trial. Without confirmed legal resolution, no sentencing details are available. Following his August 25th arrest in Louisiana, St. Tammany Parish Sheriff Randy Smith stated, "Let the message be that we do not take kindly to people who think they can commit a crime elsewhere and try to hide in St. Tammany Parish, Metro, the Times of India, Fox News." Cobb County authorities have not issued further public remarks, and the absence of news on pretrial motions, trial dates, or defense filings indicates proceedings are still in preparatory stages. In the immediate aftermath, friends, fans, and family members gathered near the site of discovery, decorating it with balloons, flowers, and teddy bears as a makeshift memorial. Her sister declared, "Long live Beauty. Beauty is her name, and it's going to ring forever, 11 alive." The family, while publicly reserved, expressed a unified desire for accountability. The sister said she hoped Louis-Jacques would go to sleep and see her face, and described feeling guilt over not having protected her, 11 alive. Comments under her recent post circulated messages like, "Roll in power, Queen, you will be missed," signaling widespread public grief, Atlanta Black Star. On broader platforms, the case prompted discussions about influencer vulnerability and safety. Community members questioned how someone visible online could become the target of such violence, and whether public exposure increases risk. Local outlets, WSB-TV, 11 Alive, Atlanta Black Star, and national media, Metro UK, Fox News, Times of India, extensively reported on the incident, her social media presence, the suspect arrest, and related developments. Metro, 11 Alive, the Times of India, Atlanta Black Star, WSB-TV Channel 2 Atlanta. Coverage emphasized the circumstances of the discovery, her prior community presence, and the swift interstate arrest, making a cautionary headline across multiple regions. Metro, 11 Alive, Spotlight South Cobb News. The case highlights risks faced by influencers who publicly share personal aspects of their lives and attract attention beyond their intended audience. It surfaces questions about red flags and personal relationships. Beauty's family described the boyfriend as odd and noted a bad vibe she may have felt. WSB-TV Channel 2 Atlanta. The tragedy may contribute to broader discussions on domestic violence, stalking, and the need for clearer safety protocols for influencers and young public figures. What lessons can be taken from this case to protect others in similar situations? Should social media platforms integrate privacy tools tailored to influencers? At what point should early warning signs in relationships be treated as serious indicators requiring intervention? Could community awareness efforts or education campaigns help people recognize and act on potential threats before they escalate? If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.